If this doesn't piss you off, you're not paying attention. Someone needs to push back on this. Today, I'm going to do my part. It's Tinfoil Tuesday.
So if you like exposing truth and dropping truth bombs, then welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday.
I want the truth.
Well, a big shazam to you people. It's too easy to say it's just New York. They voted for this. They get what they vote for. They're going to have to lie in the bed or on the carpet that they voted for. And part of that's true. I want to talk to you today about what's going on up in New York City, but it applies to you and where you live probably more than you realize. At the end, I'm going to give you some resources where you can take a step here. But I think we all need to be talking about this and talking about this very openly and mindfully, but only so open because I got to temper my words here today because of the powers that be. We're talking about what went on in New York City last week. It ain't good, so buckle up. Today's episode is brought to you by you people. Thanks for every thumbs up. A thumbs up is awesome. So New York City, they do get what they voted for. They voted in a moron up yonder, a no bacon Aloha snack bar socialist moron. And then last night he shows up at an official event my understanding is at City Hall. They sit in the floor and they do all sorts of no bacon Aloha snack bar nonsense. And then the libs, they go, ooh, we love it so much. This is so inclusive. And I'm telling you, people just, social media is pushing back. Some people that I follow are pushing back, but it's not enough. And we're going to talk about this. In Wokeness says, imagine telling someone on 9/12 that this is how New York City Hall will look in 2026. And that's exactly how it looked. And it wasn't them just sitting down saying, hey, let's practice playing dress up as another culture. Oh no, they were doing put their foreheads on the ground, facing east and doing all sorts of no bacon activities. And it's not harmless. It's not just, oh, well, this is their beliefs. No, it is any religion besides Christianity is okay, and they are not okay with us being Christians. It's a problem. It is a big time problem. This is from Sports Illustrated the next day. Knicks rookie shares unique Ramadan night with Zohran Mamdani. And they're just like celebrating it. And this is not by accident. If you follow who owns these publications, follow who's doing the writings of these publications, they are ushering in a new era. First in New York, LA, and then to Main Street, USA. Now, some folks are going to say, I'm just clutching my pearls. I'm not. We have stuff going on that I'll get to in a minute in America that this is affecting our daily lives and has really come to Main Street America much more than most people even realize. Check this group of yahoos out. If we are ever overthrown, and we're headed that direction on some level as we slide down the slippery slope, if we are ever overthrown, it will be because it was ushered in by liberal white women and mamby-pamby sissy boys. And that's who is sitting on the floor. Who is willing to take their shoes off in City Hall? I push back on that. I reject it. I'm going to say this very clearly. I reject all of this. On some level, we have to hold on to our culture and our beliefs. Imagine going to any other celebrated culture and that we respect them and going over to, I don't know, pick any country, Morocco or Indonesia or anywhere, and, going in and hanging out with their leadership or hanging out with their people. Yeah, you may do a few things to respect them on their property, but to walk in and say, now you all have to do what I do, and then their little liberals say yes, it would never ever happen. But in the lib mind, we accept them in, we vote them in, and then we do what they do. They are playing dress up, but it's much more dangerous than that. The New York libs are, again, playing dress up, but they're literally playing with the future of our lives and our children's lives. The you-know-who brotherhood does not play around. This is not an accident. It's not some, we just want to celebrate by sitting in the floor one day. Nope, it is much darker than that, and there's much more at stake than that. Coach Tommy T says this, the enemy is inside the gates. And he reposted In Wokeness's less than 25 years apart. Now, I want to say all of that to say this. If you get nothing else today, A, be pissed off because we need to pay attention to this. Number two, I want to say this. So a friend of mine turned me onto this concept a while back. Shout out to Jason. And he said this. He said, the victim is the predator. And that's a lens that I adjusted over my own eyes, and I see it. Like once it goes ding and it goes click in your brain, you will see it everywhere. The victim is always the predator. Case in point, the next day from the New York Times, Mamdani describes isolation and loneliness after Aloha snack bar, no bacon attacks. And he goes on and talks about that and saying, oh, how dare Coach Tommy T have an opinion? Yeah, how dare a Christian man have an opinion on living in a Christian nation? Oh, but Johnny, separation of church and state. Yeah, only if it's Christianity. Imagine Mamdani serving up, I don't know, a really nice Resurrection Sunday chicken and mashed potatoes and celebrating the resurrection of our Savior. That would probably be a problem, and the New York Times would go nuts over that. I went down a rabbit hole looking today into the Brotherhood's plan, and it's when you use the J word, and I can't use it today, but you know what I'm talking about. Most people think it's the J of the sword, the one with the AK, and the one that's that we're more familiar with. There's actually multiple different types, including the J of the womb, outbreeding people that you disagree with. There's another one of the pen and being able to go the legislative route, beginning with the election of Barack Hussein Obama. The Brotherhood was in the Oval Office, and I remember Sean Hannity back in the day just rattling about this, and he banged the drum on that one. Really opened my eyes. Their playbook is organized. I went down a rabbit hole today to get ready for this on stuff that was unsettling at best and demonic at worst, and it's not good. And it's very organized, hyper organized, and they have not just a pathway, but they also have counterattacks to go around. Example, being the victim. Oh, how dare they? I have feelings of loneliness now that you attack me. Yeah, somebody needs to push back. Now, how do we respond? I got a couple different thoughts here. Let me give you this piece of media that I think everybody needs to see. Over the weekend, Mr. Guns and Gear posted this Old Dominion, you know what, attack, and it was completely preventable by the government and 100%. Holy smokes. Good job, Mike. Really solid job. He watches every video here. I don't know how he watches as much as he does, but he's everywhere. If you talk to him, he has seen everybody's videos. And I'm telling you, he crushed it. And he's got data, he's got statistics, and he pulls no punches at all. And I think it's a great starting place. I'll link to that down in the description, or you jump over to Mr. Guns and Gear and watch it. It's 16 minutes, super, super easy. But in that video, and now we're coming back to Main Street USA, he shows a clear graphic of what's going on in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex about all of the no bacon centers that are popping up. And I'm telling you, it is disturbing. This is the plan. The folks in D.C., and we're not even talking about people that are members of the No Bacon Club. They don't care. Anything that destabilizes America, they're for. Anything that erodes Christianity, they are for. Anything that destabilizes the American family, the family unit, or traditional American Christian values, they are for. They will usher this in gladly and then send your sons overseas to die. They don't care. They do not care. In fact, they will cheer, clap their hands together, and write articles in the New Yorker, the New York Post, and the New York Times celebrating it. It's too easy to say, oh, it's just New York City. Forget about them. That's way, way too easy. This is inside the gates today. That graphic that Mike showed is just phenomenal. One of the responses to his video, Kevin says this, just carry anyway is one of the most base things I've heard from a gun tuber in a long time. And in that video, Mike was saying, hey, there's a lot of gun-free zones. Just carry anyway and carry everywhere. Act accordingly. I said all that to say this. I get to this point. I'm like, all right, what do we do? Because I'm an actions-based person. How does this affect my life? How does this affect my thoughts and my actions? And I'll say this, the same thing I said last summer on the 4th of July, go be an American. Invite friends over, talk about the Lord, get your poot tootie to church on Sunday, think, talk, act, share, and reevaluate your core values as an American, as a believer, as a father, as a mom, as a freedom-loving constitutionalist. And I think that's one thing that we can do, is to celebrate everything that makes America, America, and then finally to reject all of this nonsense. We need to, at the water cooler, sitting at the bar stool, playing pool with your buddies, hanging out with your friends, at the campfires, at work, talking to your friends, texting your friends early in the morning over your coffee, be an American. There's 10,000 ways you can do that. For me, one of my parts is to make this video and say, I reject it. I reject it. I also am telling everybody that I can, like, take a look at this picture. Take a look at an elected official in America. Pretty important position too. The mayor of New York City is pretty doggone important. And take a look and see them sitting with no shoes on in the floor, having Aloha snack bar activities surrounding them, while little white women and mamby-pamby, you know what, sit there and celebrate them, ushering in the demonic. We are in a holy war. Whether you realize it or not, whether you've admitted it or not, whether the media has acknowledged it or not, we are in a holy war. Act accordingly.
Welcome to Tinfoil Tuesday. We hope you sing along.
You want answers? Diabetes.